Today, we're diving deep into one of the most overlooked and often misunderstood coins in American numismatics, the 1966 Washington quarter dollar. Now, before you say, it's just another worn-out quarter, let me stop you right there. Because even a bad condition 1966 Washington quarter has a story to tell and possibly a little value that might surprise you. Let's begin our journey with the birth of the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932, created to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. It was never meant to be a permanent coin in circulation, but the design proved so popular that it replaced the standing Liberty quarter permanently. Since then, it's become one of the most widely circulated and recognized coins in American history. Fast forward to 1966. This was a time of transition, turmoil, and change both in American culture and in its coinage. The U.S. Mint had just undergone one of the most dramatic changes in coin production history. In 1965, the United States officially removed silver from the quarter and dime, switching instead to a copper-nickel-clad composition due to the rising cost of silver and widespread hoarding by the public. The government needed a solution to coin shortages and skyrocketing silver prices, and that solution was the clad coinage era. By 1966, we were 1 year into this major shift. So, what does this mean for your 1966 Washington quarter? It means that your coin is part of the first full run of clad quarters, minted without a trace of silver. Unlike earlier quarters which contained 90% silver and 10% copper, the 1966 quarter has an outer layer of 75% copper and 25% nickel, bonded to a pure copper core. It weighs 5.67 grams and measures 24.3 millimeters in diameter. If you drop it on a hard surface, it won't make that high-pitched ringing sound silver coins do. Instead, you'll get a duller, more muted tone. Now, let's talk about the design. The obverse or head side features the famous profile of George Washington, based on a bust by sculptor Jean-Antoine Howden. This design was created by John Flanagan, a prominent sculptor of the early 20th century. You'll notice the word Liberty above Washington's head, the date 1966 below his neckline, and the motto In God We Trust to the left. On the reverse or tail side, you'll see a bald eagle with outstretched wings, perched on a bundle of arrows, symbolizing America's readiness to defend itself. Beneath the eagle is an olive branch, representing peace. Above it all is the phrase, United States of America, and e pluribus unum, meaning, of many, one. At the very bottom is the denomination, quarter dollar. Interestingly, in 1966, you won't find any mint mark on the coin. That's because, between 1965 and 1967, the U.S. Mint temporarily removed mint marks from all coins to discourage hoarding and collecting during the silver crisis. So, even if your quarter was struck in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, you wouldn't know it from the coin itself. This was done deliberately to keep people from saving certain coins and worsening the coin shortage. Now, you might be asking, why should I care about a 1966 quarter that's all dirty, worn, and bad in condition? Well, let me tell you. Even a bad condition coin has historical and numismatic significance. Think about it. This coin has been circulating for nearly 60 years. It's passed through countless hands, bought candy, paid for gas, tipped a waitress, maybe even dropped into a vending machine or lost in a couch cushion. Every scratch, every worn edge, every stain tells a story. But let's talk money. That's what you're here for, right? In bad condition meaning heavily circulated, scratched, dirty, or even corroded, a 1966 Washington quarter is typically worth only its face value of 25 cents. That's right. For most people, it's just change. But and here's the twist, there are exceptions. Certain 1966 quarters with errors, rare die varieties, or unusual minting flaws can fetch much more, even in worn condition. For example, if your coin has a double die where parts of the design look blurry or have a shadowed effect or a planchet error, where it was struck on the wrong metal or with missing details, collectors might pay anywhere from $20 to hundreds of dollars depending on the rarity and visibility of the error. Even off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or coins with strike-through grease errors can add significant value. These are coins that weren't made quite right at the mint, and collectors love oddities. So before you dismiss that beat-up quarter as trash, take a closer look under good lighting or a magnifying glass. Sometimes imperfections can be a treasure. There's also a special version of the 1966 quarter known as a special mint set or SMS coin. These were sold to collectors by the U.S. Mint during the years 1965, 1966, and 1967 in place of proof sets, which were temporarily suspended. These SMS coins have a shinier, more reflective surface and sharper details than regular circulation strikes. If you happen to come across one of these, especially in high grade, they can sell for anywhere between $10 and $100, or even more, if graded by a reputable service like PCGs or NGC. Now, let's pause and talk about grading for a moment. Coin grading is a way to determine a coin's condition using a scale from 1 to 70. A coin graded Ms. 70 is a perfect mint state coin with no flaws. A bad condition 1966 quarter might be in the range of G4 good, AG3 about good, or even PO1 poor. These grades affect value dramatically. A 1966 quarter in poor condition with no errors or special characteristics will still just be a quarter. But in high grade, like Ms. 65 or higher, the value can shoot up significantly. Let me give you an example. A regular 1966 Washington quarter in mint state 65 condition might sell for $10 to $25. But if it's graded Ms. 67 or higher, the value can easily climb into the $100 plus range. The auction record for a top-graded 1966 SMS quarter reached over $3,000 in pristine condition. So condition absolutely matters, but rarity and demand matter too. Now back to your bad condition coin. Should you keep it? Should you spend it? Or should you throw it in a jar and forget about it? Here's my honest advice: if your 1966 quarter is in rough shape, has no visible errors, and isn't part of a special mint set, it's probably worth just 25 cents. But if you're a collector or just starting your coin collecting journey, keep it anyway. Why? Because it's a piece of American history. Because it's the product of a time when the country was adjusting to new economic realities. Because one day, even worn coins from the 1960s might be hard to find in circulation. And let's not forget, coin values can rise over time. What's common today could be scarce tomorrow. As older coins are removed from circulation, melted, or lost forever, even beat-up examples will become more appreciated by future collectors. You're holding something that may not be worth a lot of money today, but it has intrinsic historical and educational value. Also, for young collectors, these older coins, yes, even in bad condition, are a great way to build a starter collection. They're inexpensive, easy to find, and provide a gateway to the world of numismatics. If you're teaching kids about money, history, or economics, a 1966 quarter can open that door. Let's talk about cleaning for a moment. Many people find old coins and think, "Let me clean this up so it looks shiny and new." Please don't. Cleaning coins, especially with chemicals, abrasives, or even household soap, can destroy their collector value. Even a rare coin can lose 90% of its market value if cleaned improperly. Collectors want originality, even if that means dirt, grime, and scratches. Let your coins age naturally, they earned it. Now, let's look at some real-world auction examples. On online marketplaces like eBay, 1966 quarters in very bad condition usually sell in bulk, like rolls of 40 quarters for around $10, which comes out to face value. But individual error coins from 1966, even in worn shape, have sold for $30, $50, or more. One coin with a major off-center strike fetched $200. A quarter with missing clad layer where the nickel top layer was absent sold for over $500. So keep an eye out for anything unusual. Collectors also seek full drum lines on the reverse, strong strikes, and clean fields in SMS coins. If your quarter seems shinier than normal or has unusually sharp details, you might want to compare it to known SMS examples online or submit it for grading if it looks special. So what's the takeaway? The 1966 Washington quarter may not be made of silver. It may be common, and yes, it may be dirty, worn, and badly circulated, but it still has value, both historical and potential numismatic value. Every coin has a story, and the 1966 quarter tells the tale of an America in transition. It marks the end of the Silver Age, the beginning of modern coinage, and a bold step into a new era of minting technology. Whether you're a seasoned collector or a curious beginner, don't overlook the humble 1966 quarter. Even in bad condition, it deserves a second look, a little appreciation, and maybe a place in your collection.